Good morning and welcome to February. This is February of year 2 of my second attempt at Krustoo Farms Homestead Challenge. All right, let's see what's in the sale. Oh, that's a nice tractor. Beyond my beyond the price I can afford to pay, but it's still a nice tractor. All right, so let's do the check of the. Still no good contracts available. Alright, I still have that 1 million liters of oats in here for no apparent reason. I'll get some pallet moving done here. In my birth month, in February you can plant cotton. But I have no intention of growing cotton. And I've mentioned it before, but while it is possible to grow cotton in Michigan, you have to start it indoors and then transplant it the same way we grow tomatoes. This might be getting me close to my limit to what I need for lettuce already. Still no honey, which also I did not expect that, so it's no big deal. Carelessness, they're knocking stuff around, disturbing my egg production. So I have 6 pallets of lettuce in there. And 4 pallets of mushrooms. Now I'm getting help from cat steering. I was crashing into things enough without the cat helping me. Well, some serious farm sim players, have steering wheels and joysticks set up. But I just play with mouse and keyboard. Although I do have a joystick I can use for like arm controls and stuff. But when I've tried to do that in the past, I found it's actually harder for me to control since I run a lot of this equipment in real life and the controls don't exactly line up. So all my years of muscle memory from running loaders and skid steers counteracts what the game wants me to do. Right, that's 5 pallets of mushrooms. I'll pause here and double check. Alright, I just double checked I need 10 pallets of mushrooms, so I got 5 of them in there now. With these 2, that'll bring me up to 7. Also need 10 pallets of bread, 10 pallets of cheese, 10 pallets of butter. Bread is going kind of slow. I guess it's because it's a cafe, not a bakery. Is the reason why it's going so slow. Oh, almost put this into the wrong. I might have to just disable this, sell this cafe. Because if it isn't able to make one pallet, at least one pallet, overnight, I'm never gonna get the 10 pallets required. Which kind of, well, I guess in a way that makes up for all the flour that's been... Ah, dang it, almost did that again. Wrong point. I want to put this in storage, not sell it. Drop my pallet forks. Grab my bucket and my weight. The bucket's up here. And the weight's over here. Let me check on see if any contracts have popped up. I'm hoping for a cultivation contract. See if I can scoop up some of this that's spilled outside of the bin. I got some of it at least. Yeah, while manure fork is better for this than a bucket, at the same time, I can assure you millions of tons of manure have been scooped with just a plain utility bucket. I have an idea I'm gonna try. I'm gonna hook up to my smaller trailer and see if I can load the trailer out of this pallet of seeds. Yes, I can. How about that? I was hoping maybe a cultivation contract would pop up today, but that just does not seem to be happening. Well, I disturbed that egg pallet. Looks like I didn't disturb it so much that it can't still keep collecting eggs, so that's a good thing. Yeah, there's really nothing for me to do here, so I'm going to go ahead and go to March. So let's see what's on sale. That's a big cultivator. 24-meter working width, huh? Oh, that's a weeder, not a cultivator, so that's totally useless. There we go. We have a hoeing contract. We have one pallet of bread ready. Four pallets of mushrooms. 3 pallets of sugar. Eggs are looking good. Honey has started. 4 pallets of lettuce. Yeah, this root crop greenhouse is too fast. But since I have to shove so many consumables into it, I don't really mind. Let me get this 3-point weight off. While I'm at it, I better grab my bucket to use as a front weight. Alright, start the year off by hoeing for Katie. Field 22. So to get there, alright. Now I turn left. Turn left again. Alright, so I got to focus on getting me a dairy and a bakery. This cafe is just producing too slow to make the requirements. And then I need a second tractor. Preferably a bigger tractor so that I can get a bigger harrow. If I can get up to 180 horsepower, then I can get what Daggerwin calls the flexi thing. That's about twice as wide as my current cultivator, my disc harrow. So that would make a huge difference. Plus, I think it has a faster working speed as well. Now, since I am married, I can let my wife or one of my wife's siblings do this. But I don't want to put out the extra money, so I'll go ahead and do it for myself. Especially considering I don't have a second tractor for me to be running anyway. Alright, we're up to 1%, so this contract is working. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, I'm almost done with this contract. Sitting at 99%. There we go. And in the time where I was off camera doing this hoeing, Daggerwin released a new video with Chainsaw 100, and they're using this tractor in the exact same paint scheme. They don't have the canopy though, but that was just a bit of a, hey, I recognize that moment. Alright, now let's orient myself on the map. Since this is actually a different day in real world. Okay, so head north, take a left, 1, 2, 3, to the third intersection and take a right. Let traffic clear before I jump out on the road. Yeah, when I get back to the farm, I'm going to sell the farmer cafe that's there. And then I'll replace that as I have money with a bakery and a dairy. Because its production rate is just too slow. It won't be able to make enough bread in the year to actually meet the requirement. And on top of that, I would need a dairy anyway in order to get it to make cheese, so I might as well just, have it just a dairy and have the dairy make cheese and butter. I'll turn on, there we go, cruise control, and then I'll go ahead and collect this mission. And that'll also help get rid of some of that excessive flour that I have, that I really shouldn't have. Oh, hoeing in field 32. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and accept this contract. So instead of turning right up here, I need to turn left. Get off the main road so there'll be less traffic to deal with. Yeah, so I'm right here. So I'll go down to where this tees off and take a right until just before the curve. Now, I just hope that I don't have any problems with that windmill turning other grain sources into millions of grain. Well, 1 million grain. Rough road. It's a gravel road named Rough Road. How appropriate. I'm also thinking about going ahead and adding a small lumber mill to my property so that I can do deadwood contracts and then bring the deadwood back and cut it into lumber. Because deadwood contracts in and of themselves are not very profitable, and the wood does not sell for very much, but it works just fine in your own lumber mill. Stay off to the shoulder here so traffic has no problems passing me. Nice international dump truck. We take Alright. This is freshly planted. So let's get my 1% to make sure this contract's actually going to work. Yep, there it is. So I'll be back when this contract is done. Alright, this contract is done. Up here to the gravel road, then I'll collect this contract. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. Alright. So let's go ahead and collect. Is there anything more? Leading wood transport? No. I don't have a plow, so I can't do a plowing contract. Don't have any rock removal tools, so can't do that. So let's head back to the farm. I'm going to buy this sprayer right here. I don't know what PTX trimmable weed seeker is. So that will let me do spraying contracts and make fertilizing contracts more viable. Especially since I already have some liquid fertilizer that I bought by accident, thinking it was herbicide. I'm thinking about seeing if I can. I've got some AI created songs. So if I can use the in-game radio to play those while I'm just wandering around like this, and I don't necessarily want to cut away, but can't really think of anything to keep prattling on about. Because one thing I can't stand in real life is people that won't shut up. They just keep talking and talking and talking. And that way I can just play that on the radio. Gives you something to hear in the background instead of just watching my tractor put it along at 19 miles per hour. And I still need a second tractor this year so that I can employ my wife and my wife's family. Next in-game year, we get a family. Now, one thing I always like to do in all of my videos is I like to include something about the foster care system. So since we're going to have a very large family out of nowhere, it's going to be the setup that instead of, having like triplets or something, we adopted a sibling group, a group that had been in foster care for a while and having a hard time getting adopted, so we adopted all the siblings. That would justify us needing all that huge amount of food that we got to produce next year. And since we got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house to live in, we can put all the boys in one room and all the girls in another room. And then have one room left over for guests' office work. Or even just plain storage. Believe how many various things that pop up in your life that you need just someplace to store. That's the reason why mini storage is such a profitable industry. Yeah, putting these trailers out here on the easement seems to have been a good idea. Put the hoe back in. I'm not going to detach it since it's my most, next to the loader, it's my most commonly used tool. I've got plenty of water in there. Chickens are going to need some food. Eggs are coming along nicely. Wait, why don't these have any food? Well, dang. Right, 5 pallets of lettuce. Honey's looking good. Got last slurry. Food again. Alright. Got quite a bit of sugar there. Alright, looks like I got a few things to run around and take care of here. So, 3 pallets of lettuce need to go in here, and 3 pallets of mushrooms need to go in there. Well, let's get my animals fed again. This really annoys me. In the real world, I don't see how it's impossible to forget to feed your animals, but with the dissociation of this being a video game, it is indeed possible to forget to feed your animals. Let me grab my rear weight here. And the smaller trailer. Let's get it so it tips to the other side. Yeah, right. No, this is right. I want to go left. Here we go. I want to get clear of the... Alright, that's taken care of. Cutting it too tight. Yeah, the enemy of backing up is oversteering. Now I need some more hay and the cattle barn. Oops. Or straw, I should say. Alright, yep, I'm clear. Huh. That's all the straw it can take, huh? Alright. In that case, I'll put the rest of the straw back into the silo. I gotta check, see what month I... Double check what month I plant long grain rice. Alright. Long grain rice is next month. Alright. The only thing I can plant this month is cotton and grass. Oh, I could plant oats, potatoes. Oh, I could plant sunflowers, but alright, there's nothing I'm gonna plant this month that I can plant this month that I need. I gotta stay on the green part. So that I'm not on my neighbor's land. Some people don't really mind. Other people are incredibly territorial. If you touch their property by 1 inch, they just go ballistic. Other people let you wander around their land all you want. They don't really mind as long as you're not doing any damage. Oh, well, flowers I planted last winter are blooming. It's a nice pop of color. Okay. Need to switch to my forks. Almost got me some fresh venison there. Alright. Okay. That failed experiment is gone now, so... Yeah, these are a little bit more expensive than the base game ones. But they're a lot smaller. See, 39,000. But that's a huge size difference right there. See, I can put my dairy right here. Now it has to... The base game small production... is only 36,000. It's not all that much bigger. I kind of like this one better. So yeah, I'll put that right there. I'll need one of these eventually, but next I'll need the bakery. So the bakery can go like right here. I need to be far enough apart that I can get my tanker trailer in there. So that should be fine. That'll fit. Put this bread in the storage. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's here go to the greenhouse. I've got enough lettuce for the year, so I'm going to turn off. Oh, my phone's deciding to chime in. Alright. Turn off lettuce and turn on strawberries. Actually, I'm going to try something. Since I have nothing right now that uses strawberries, just to make sure, I'm going to try this with tomatoes. I'm going to do tomatoes next. I'm going to change them to distributing and see if that will send them from my greenhouse over to my storage without my input. That would save us a lot of time. I won't be able to do that with strawberries because it might get sent to the bakery instead once I have the bakery built, which probably won't be this episode, but I imagine it will be next episode. Okay, so Just to confirm, yes, 10 pallets of lettuce. Very good. So now these last 2 pallets can just be sold. That's good. Now for the mushrooms, I need to put 3 pallets of mushrooms into the storage. Wish I had front 3-point so I could just use the forklift attachment instead of the front loader. Uh-huh. Kind of just bounced on there, didn't it? Let's try this again. It doesn't help matters either that this tractor's kind of jerky. I have to stay away from the silo, make sure the silo doesn't steal my mushrooms. Just bouncing around and get on there, huh? That might be the way to do it. Okay, 10 pallets of lettuce, 10 pallets of mushrooms. So mushroom requirement's done for the year. I'm not particularly familiar with enoki mushrooms. Generally, what I use are the portobello mushrooms. Of course, every spring there's always the hunt for the morels in the woods, but I've never had much luck with morel hunting. Some people are amazingly good at it. They just get bags and bags of them. I think in my entire life I've only found like 3. I'm not talking bags, I'm talking 3 mushrooms. Alright. So enoki mushrooms sell for half the price of lettuce. I'm going to try producing oyster mushrooms. Let's see if oyster mushrooms sell for more. What's the price for sugar right now? Sugar is pretty low. Guess that top is 15.78. And the best price I can get, so it's about $100 off of its peak. So I think I'll just stick these in storage for now. I'll stick 2 in storage and then actually, I'm going to sell them. I'm so close to being able to get Yeah. Okay, that's done. Let's hook up to the milk tanker. And I'll get this milk from the silo too. Alright, so that's almost 2,000 liters of milk. Alright, the dairy. And I'll start making butter. Oh, we got more sugar popped out. I'll go ahead and stick this in storage. I'm going to drop my rear weight and go pick up my new sprayer, then call it a day. I'll do a little bit of maintenance here since we're going to come into spring with a lot of work to do. Repair. Repair. There we go. Everything's good as new as far as functionality wise. Paint's getting a little rough, but I'm not really concerned about paint. I think I'm going to go ahead and put some diesel in too. Because next month I got to do some planting. I got to get my long grain rice planted for the year. So here we are at the end of the day. We're off to a good start here for year 2. Thank you very much for watching.